Hi and welcome to Live Trends on Goldern TV. I'm Ernest, your host for today. Today we are going to have an exclusive interview with a special personality. Trust me, you really enjoy today's interview. He's in the person of Reverend Canon CSP Selwyn S. Okai. You are welcome here today on Live Trends on Goldern TV.
Thank you, and I'm happy to be here.
And we are also happy to have you here. Today we are really going to have an exclusive interview. Since a lot of people have encountered you and know you, today we are really going to delve into your life journeys for people to get to know you better and to also experience you as some of us have experienced you. Yes. Can you tell us a little about yourself? Who is Reverend Canon?
Reverend Canon Selwyn S near Adama Okai. I was born in 1967, 25th December, to the late Reverend Selwyn S near Aite Okai of blessed memory, and Mrs. Christiana Priscilla na Aine Okai. I was raised in a typical Ghana community in Palladium and Bukom.
Okay.
And my parents were Christians, okay. And as you can tell, my father was a priest in Anglican Church, and my mother was a trader and also a housewife and a baker. In fact, he was into big time bakery.
Oh, okay.
In Accra and all the places that we have been to. And because my father was a priest and we were not stationed at one place, I started schooling at the St. Mary's Anglican Nursery School at Accra, Asafo-Acheneti Road. And then I continued at Seshubodi Primary School. Then we were transferred to Dunkwao on Ofin. I also attended school there at the middle school, early middle school.
Okay.
Living certificate. Then we came to Ho. Then from Ho we were back to Accra, and in fact when we came back to where we were transferred to Cathedral, Holy Trinity Cathedral. Okay. So I had the privilege of attending Bishop School and also Lulu 8. It was close to the beach.
Oh, okay.
It was then a very good school. And then I passed the common entrance, and I attended. In fact, my choice of schools were all out of Accra. So I started my Holy Secondary School for 1 year, and my father removed me and brought me to Accra to continue from Holy Trinity Secondary School.
Okay.
I did my sixth form at the Accra High School, and I read accounting and business studies. So, in a nutshell, that has been the background of education. I also attended the University of Ghana, where I had a diploma. Then Trinity Theological Seminary, I did a degree, a diploma in ministerial studies, and a degree, a Bachelor of Divinity.
Okay.
Then I went back to the University of Ghana to do my master's in social policy studies, and then also did some other studies. And I also went to the Queen's University in Ontario,
okay.
Kingston, Ontario, to do the restorative justice at the master's level.
Wow.
So, in a nutshell, I have specialized in family counseling. So that's where I am at the moment.
Oh, okay.
In the background.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Reverend Canon Selwyn. Your journeys in the educational field is really impressive, very impressive. Comparing your education with family, you're married with kids.
Yeah.
Yes. How many kids do you have?
Oh, I'm married to Esther Baba Okai, now Mrs., but she used to be Sego.
Oh, okay.
And we have been married for 24 years. And this year will be our 25th anniversary.
Wow.
Wow. And we have three biological kids.
Oh, okay.
But we adopted two others in the course of our ministry. We adopted 2 girls. So in all, we have 5 children.
Oh, okay.
So Sylvia, Baba, Mia Ite, Priscilla, and Nancy Maria.
Okay. Yeah. Wow. So 5 children in all.
Yeah.
And one who asks, with all your education background, time for family, time for your schooling, how has it been like? With your wife and helping raise these children, as well as blending your school life as well. You're from Legon to Trinity to traveling outside to also further on. How do you blend all this, the time factor, and since they say family is golden, so yeah. How do you come in as a father?
In fact, I am blessed with a wonderful woman who is always there to support me in whatever endeavors that are in my chosen profession. And she's always there to take care of the children. In fact, there are times that I feel so bad because I'm always not at home. I'm combining 2 huge professions. Wow. That's being a priest in Anglican Church and being a chaplain to the Ghana Prison Service. And it's not been easy. And running around to do, to further my education, to my children at times, they never see me. I'm always running around the globe. I come 1 week, 2 weeks, I'm on my way. Wow. And it's been a tough time. And to share this experience with you, well, one day I came home and just changed. And I was about to leave, and I bid everybody bye-bye. And then the little one said, "Daddy, are you going again? Are you not tired of going?" And I actually got to me, and I really, when I left, I really wept. Wow. I wept because they wish that I'm around. Yes. But it's a lesson to those of us who are whose careers are so demanding, that we need to find time for our children. So whatever time I have in my at my disposal, I make sure that the family is my priority. I make sure that I am always there with them. So even when I'm not there, they don't feel it. And my children, I take keen interest in their education. Okay. I take keen interest in their education. We were born 12. We're 12 in number. And I'm number 11.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm number 11 of 12 children. In fact, my parents thought I was going to be the last. That's why my father gave his name to me.
Oh, okay.
But Ishmael came 5 years after me.
Oh, okay.
And so I made sure that my children get the best, the things that I didn't get. I make sure that they get a special education. And I also have this conviction that education is the best gift you can give to any human being.
Okay, okay, that's great, Canon. We go on further on with family. Now you're a chaplain in the prisons and also a priest in the Anglican fraternity, let's say. It comes back to having time for, to be a priest, you need to have time for your congregation as well. So it still boils down to the fact that yes, because to be a priest, your congregation is family to you as well. You need to listen to everyone, hear everyone, and to show an example to everyone. How do you blend your priest life in the Anglican community and also the prisons as well? Because in the prison, you have to live an exemplary life as well as a chaplain. So how do you blend both with your church and your work?
You know, let me start with the church. The church gave me to the prison service on full-time basis.
Okay.
So it wasn't a part-time. And so I'm here full-time, being paid by government.
Okay.
So for now, my jurisdiction is with the prison service, and I'm in charge of the prison church, a united church, where we have 8 denominations, different denominations worshiping together. In this church, we have Anglicans, we have Catholics, we have Methodists. In fact, the Methodists and the Presbyterian dominate.
Okay.
Then we have Pentecostals and Evangelicals and Charismatics. And so that is the blend that we have. And so that has given me an opportunity to learn from the other denominations. And the chaplain's mandate in the prison service is not only to the church. You are a link to the churches, all the religious bodies. You are also responsible for the officers and their dependents. So you are like the priest to everybody, no matter their denominational background, including the Muslims and traditionalists. They look up to you for everything. And we are also a link between the prison service and the community. And so you play that role in the community around us. For example, in our community, we don't have a library.
Okay.
And so we are building a library for the Osu community here.
Okay.
So that a 500-seater library where our children in both the police cantonment and all those areas will come and study. So it is not, being a chaplain to the prison goes beyond the prison.
Oh, okay.
And to blend is a very difficult thing. I'm in charge of 3 churches now. The prison church here, and also the Temajoin Church, and also the Holy Spirit Anglican Church at Chado.
Wow.
So I have to make a way of ministering to all these churches. And fortunately, in this church, I have 4 additional associate pastors. In Temajoin Church, we are 3, an Anglican, a Methodist, and a Presbyterian. At the Holy Spirit Anglican Church, I have an assisting priest.
Oh, okay.
So in all of this, you only had to blend and make sure that everybody have a feel of you. I really don't joke with my pastoral duties.
Okay.
And then so I make sure that I am available as much as I can, and making sure also that I have time for my family too. And as a priest, you are you're a pastor to everybody.
Yeah.
No matter the denomination. I remember John Wesley we said that is there for everybody, and his parish is the community. So that is what we are.
Oh, okay.
And so that's the image that we show.
Okay, thank you, Canon. Canon, one question. Being a chaplain in the prisons, is it only under chaplaincy, or you also undertake their physical activities as well? Because if you are in the force, then basically you have to have an idea of the force, not just only the church. So I also want to ask, aside that, do you also partake in other physical activities of the prisons, or just the church that you are centered in? So if it's the prison's church, you don't go further the chaplaincy, or do you extend it? Because the reason I'm asking this question is we have the prisoners. Does your jurisdiction go to that extent? Do you also render services to the inmates in our prisons as well?
Yeah.
And how has it been like dealing with the inmates and also their spiritual life as well, being in prison and also getting to see them and getting to feel their presence? How has it also been like?
In fact, we are the first line officers, front line officers for spiritual activities and religious, let me put it, religious activities. And our first and foremost responsibility as prison chaplains is for the inmates.
Okay.
And the dependents of the inmates.
Okay.
And so somebody comes in first time into the prison, it is the duty of the chaplain and the counselors to make sure that the person accepts his or her new environment, okay, and adapt to it. Okay. And that is our first and foremost. So we provide counseling, we talk to people. At times people think that it's only the inmates that we deal with. But I can tell you that some of the officers also have spiritual issues that they rely on the chaplains. The inmates are always, we give them priority. We are always guiding them to reform them. And that is one of our mandate, to rehabilitate and reform them. You see, we have a lot of them who have come out of prison and they don't go back again. And Ghana used to have a lot of reoffending rates in those days, and people just go out of prison, they go and reoffend and go back into the prison. But from years past, from 10 years back, we noticed that the rate have gone down, okay, because of the programs and things that we have put in place to help them realize their own self. It's very important. When somebody realizes his own self, is able to find his own self, is able to adjust to society, and maybe he will shelve any other characters that have been formed for the good of society. I think that is what we basically want to see.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Canon. Okay, Canon. Well known. Well known. There's this question I've always wanted to ask a prison officer, and since you are here, it seems that is something that has been the norm in our community, that the inmates who come there are all bad and nothing can be done about them. Yes, the community can't do anything about them. They've exceeded the level of help, and we claim the prison system is to reform and rehabilitate them. But yet still we see people come out and still go back to their old ways, and it all still boils down to the fact that there's chaplaincy who does a lot of counseling. And the question is, those who come out and keep being the same as they are, is it that there was a little bit error, or shortfall along the line whereby the rehabilitation was not successful, or didn't get a full impact, or just that it's character-wise?
Let me answer your last part of the question. I think some of them, the character has been formed right from infancy, and at times it is difficult to reform. And some of them have taken stealing and all those kind of vices as profession. So whatever they go through in the prisons does not help them because of the mindset. But they are in minority. That's why I always say that if you be a mensa woman, we have majority that reintegrate into society, and they are doing very well. And at times, let me say this, society breeds, because of stigma that you are talking about, society breeds some of these criminals. Why? I personally followed up 2 individuals who were released from prison. One person went to his house. As soon as the family members saw him coming, everybody started locking his door. His room that he used to stay in the family house had been rented out. So he was sleeping on the veranda. And mind you, in the prison, he's given 3 square meals a day. So many of them go back, not because they want to go there, but because they feel that they are even more accepted in the prison than even in their own family. And it's heartbreaking. Fortunately, the other person decided to leave his house, went and did menial jobs. He was washing cars with a bucket and a key soap that we bought from him. He just requested that we should buy a bucket and a duster and a key soap. And we did, and he started washing cars. Today, that person owns a filling station. Wow. In Afenya, on Afenya Road. He developed the car washing business into, and such people, society don't hear about them. He was just neglected from home, and he decided that I had to start from somewhere. The other person that I followed had to come back to prison, and unfortunately he died in prison.
Sad.
And I've seen inmates who are released to go home and they don't want to go. And people are surprised at it. I've seen inmates who went out and they are staying with prison officers. Because their families, because of the stigma of society, their families don't want to see them. And so if all of us will have the mindset like you can find in Europe and in America, where people come out of prison and they tell everybody that I've been to prison, and there's no stigma. People offer them help. People try them. In any case, we have given people to charities as caretakers and things, and they are doing very well. Others too did their own thing, and they are back into prison. So you can't say that we can't say that we have 100%. But let me tell you, if you take out of 10, I can tell you about 6 come out and do better work.
That's good. That's good. And that means the reform is working.
Yes.
It's just that the education has to go to the public well. Yeah, the stigmatization will be there because of the level of education that we have in respect with our prisons and how things are run in our prisons and how the prison system runs. But I think if further education is well given to the public, they will understand that yes, somebody goes in and comes out, maybe by showing some small love, the person will not go back to their old self, but be determined to continue with that. So I think the education must
Yeah.
must go out well. Also, Canon. Also, Canon. You also said that you're into counseling. Yes. Yes, and in this modern time, you have a lot of the youth who are getting married now and then, and trust me, it will surprise you that you see on TV, you read the news, and they get married, and in a short while there's divorce. As a priest in the church, what do you take, or what's your take on marriage and divorce?
In fact, this is a very dicey situation, because every pastor nowadays calls himself or herself a counselor, and that is the bane of the thing. I have sat in a counseling session in a particular church, and I saw preaching. You see, there is difference between helping somebody to understand the institution that the person is going into. As for sermons, we have heard it several times. But the thing is that in counseling, there are assignments that you do. There are so many things that you have to do in models. Some are individually, and some the couples do it together and all that. All those things are supposed to help you to realize yourself, whether you are ready for it. So that's why we top it up as Christians with sermons on the wedding day to talk to you. Finally, you are here. But if the people come, and there's what we call pastoral counseling. It's also good. Some people do it very well. But I'm praying that the churches will find a way of doing proper counseling. People should be trained to do counseling. And counseling is not you telling somebody what to do. It's helping the person to know what he ought to do. So the person must be involved in the discussion and everything. It's not the person sitting in front of you and you opening your Bible and preaching on 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 1 to 13, and that is it. Because it involves a legal issue. Why are we saying for better and for worse? Why are we saying that? Why are we as Christians saying that and that and that? The person must know what is the state saying about this union that you are going to enter into. And there are temperaments and things that you need to talk about. Because the people must, the two individuals must know that this guy that I'm going to has this temperament, and I also have that temperament. How do we blend? Then there are the issue of fidelity, secrecy, and all that. But the thing is that in marriage, there is something we call transparency. I must know your health status, and you must know my health status and all that. All these things blend in the counseling. So when the person goes out there and he's saying, I do, he or she knows what actually he's saying, what actually he's getting himself into. So that is one of the problems that we are having. People really don't get to know that I'm going to stay with this person the rest of my life. And so I need to make a very conscious decision to stay. If you are not getting that, you realize that people will just go in and out. The marriage has become like asana. I go and test. If it's not too good, then I move out. And that's what we are having.
Okay. So it all has to be the way their counseling was done, the understanding of the institution they are going into. Just like someone has to understand the kind of work, the job description that your job you are going to do, your job, you need to really understand it to achieve that aim. So I think you've done well with your explanation. But Canon, back to yourself, because today it's about you, yourself. How would you say your impact has been with you and wherever you find yourself, with you and your environment? The prisons, the Anglican Church, the individuals you encounter every day. How would you rate yourself, that impact that you have given out to these people? How would you rate yourself?
In fact, my entire life, I love children. So I started as a Sunday school teacher and a teacher, a pupil teacher in a preparatory school. And I've also loved music. And so, in fact, I was instrumental in raising the gospel bands in Anglican Church. Wow. I was one of the pioneers in starting the gospel bands in Anglican Church. And so, with the children, I'm so happy when you see as people that you have nurtured. I've seen a lot of them becoming pastors today. I've seen a lot of them like you yourself, and I've seen, and your wife, and I've seen a lot of them even in politics. In my area, for instance, the MPP candidate always will be mentioning my name everywhere he goes. Gerald. Yeah, no. Gerald was in my class so many years back, and I'm not surprised to see all of them doing well. You see, that is the joy you have, that you impart lives, and wherever you go, in fact, wherever parish that I go, a church that I go, I raise people to be more than me. And so in my church, I preach only once in a month, because I make sure that when I'm not there, the congregation will not feel that I'm not there. And that is what we are talking about, the priesthood of all believers. And so if you're able to raise people and bring them up in the ministry, who knows? The kingdom of God is being built through them. Wherever they go, they stand out. And that has been my joy. But the key is humility. No matter where God raised you to, humble yourself. Because if you don't do that, you are not applying wisdom. God knows why He's keep raising you, and whatever God gives to you, as He expects more. To whom much is given, much is required. It is very important.
Thank you, Canon. So, Canon, what will be your last words to the Ghanaian community, and not only the Ghanaian community, but let's say the upcoming youth that are coming up now, who has a lot of dreams filled up? Yes, someone wants to be an officer in the army, the officer in the prisons. I also want to be a priest. What would be your advice to the upcoming youth? Since you love children and you have groomed a lot of the children into youth, and they have also grown to also groom others. So what would be the little thing you want to share, your last thing you want to tell the youth, the upcoming youth?
Number one, take your education very serious. Your education is your life. Because if you downplay your education, you are downplaying your future. The Bible says that study to show yourself approved. So whatever you find yourself to do in this life, is the basis is your education. And the second thing is that there is nothing that is impossible so far as God is concerned. If you have God on your side, every dream you have is achievable. I've seen people who were on the road. I remember when we were selling at Ghana House in those days, we were selling paper bags and things. Kwame Despite was selling cassette on tabletop. Today, look at our big brother Kwame Despite with chain of companies. It is possible. With God on your side, everything is possible. But it comes with hard work. It comes with hard work. If you don't do hard work, you will not be able to succeed. And it is so important. Many of them, we want to cut corners to get to where we want to go. If you want to be a priest, talk to God. Whatever endeavors, whatever you are doing, talk to God, and God will bless you.
Thank you for being with us on Life Trends on Goldern TV. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel on YouTube, Goldern TV. And also, don't forget to click on the bell icon so to get notified whenever there's a new video that has been uploaded. See you another time on Life Trends.